Good morning. It is Saturday, December 17th. I'm Abby Huntsman. Well, first, he brought back Merry Christmas. This morning, the president-elect takes another shot at political correctness.
Remember, some of you that are a little bit older, made in the USA. Remember that beautiful?
We're going to take you to Florida, where the latest stop was on his thank you tour. Just wrapped up.
The Christmas tour, that's right. Well, Hillary Clinton says, don't blame me. It's James Comey and Vladimir Putin's personal beef that cost me the election. And Clayton, over to you. Good morning.
Thank you.
Are you awake, Clayton?
I thought we were playing sound. I'm just reading the paper. And leading up to the election, plenty of celebrities pledged to pack their bags if Donald Trump won. Roll sound.
My confession for this election is if any Republican gets nominated, I'm going to move to Canada with my entire family. Is that bad?
But it looks like a lot of those celebrities got cold feet. We now know just how many people moved to Canada. Fox and Friends Hour 2 starts right now.
Yeah, big zero.
Right.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. We're going to defend the flag our heroes fought and died for to protect. I don't like when I see people burning our flag. I don't like it. We're going to build safe zones in Syria, and we're going to get the Gulf states to pay for the safe zone. Instead of rebuilding foreign nations, it's time to rebuild our nation. Our economic agenda can be summed up in three very beautiful words: jobs, jobs, jobs. But we sort of have to wait till we get in office, don't you agree? You know, just I'm having a hard time waiting. I just make phone calls. Listen, you can't move. What do you like better, made in the USA or made in America? Yeah. We will love everyone, and we will make America great again. Thank you very much, Florida.
That was Donald Trump in Florida, in Orlando, Florida, thanking the Sunshine State for pushing him over the top this year.
Do you think he's enjoying himself?
I think he is, and he brought like a winter wonderland. He brought like a winter wonderland with him. It's now the Miss Merry Christmas tour, yeah.
It's
That's
a Merry
right.
Christmas tour is what it's turned into, but I think you're right. I think he's having a great time. He's going to Mobile, Alabama today. I wonder how many he's going to do, how many places he's going to go to.
This is the final stop.
Oh, this is the last one.
The Mobile, Alabama on Saturday is the final stop in the thank you tour. That started as a thank you tour and has definitely ended as the Merry Christmas tour. And a big theme of the entire tour has been pushing back against political correctness.
Right, and you know, at the end of the year, Time Magazine likes to do a look back on the year to pick their man or woman of the year, as it used to be. No longer. Now it's just person of the year, and Donald Trump was chosen as person of the year. And even the Time Magazine cover is not safe from Donald Trump. Take a listen to what he said about it. Listen.
Time Magazine and the Financial Times, big deal, just gave me person of the year. Person. Okay. They should give it to you because this is a movement, folks. This isn't me. So in the past, it was called Man of the Year. Now it's called Person of the Year. So here's the question. What do you like better? Ready? Do you like Person of the Year? Do you like Man of the Year? Well, they want to be politically correct.
Well, the people have spoken. It should be Man of the Year.
Well, yeah.
But I guarantee it's still going to be in his office. He'll have it framed.
It already
Trump
is.
Tower.
In a gold frame, a big gold frame.
Right.
As it should be. After what he accomplished this year, I'll tell you, I said this before, I'll say it again. I remember when they changed it to Person of the Year, and I remember sitting there going, why?
Why?
To what end?
Well,
Who are we making happy? Who's offended by a man of the year or a woman of the year? Because every American around their kitchen table is like, I'm not offended by that. I'm a man or I'm a woman, and I'd love to be the man of the year. Come on. He's speaking to what people have felt. They've been crushed by political correctness, and he is punching it in the face.
Well, and he loves speaking directly to the audience and asking them how they feel about it because it makes them feel important. It makes them feel like they're somebody, and that's something that he's been very good at throughout the campaign.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, President Obama vowing retaliation against Russia for election hacking.
Yeah, but he's blasting the media for obsessing over the emails allegedly leaked as a result.
Garrett Tenney is live from Washington, D.C. with more on the president's final news conference of the year. Good morning, Garrett.
Morning.
Hey, good morning, y'all. The president certainly covered a lot of ground in his final end-of-the-year press conference, but front and center was Russia's interference in our election. Both Republican and Democrat lawmakers have been critical of President Obama's handling handling of the Russian-directed cyber hacking campaign. But yesterday, Mr. Obama defended his administration's response, which he said actually began back in September when he met with Russian President Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of the G20 summit and warned him there would be serious consequences if Russia didn't, quote, cut it out.
Our goal continues to be to send a clear message to Russia or others not to do this to us, because we can do stuff to you. But it is also important for us to do that in a thoughtful, methodical way. Some of it we do publicly. Some of it we will do in a way that they know, but not everybody will.
President Obama also repeated the conclusion of the U.S. intelligence community that the cyber hacking campaign was orchestrated at the highest levels of the Russian government and added that not much happens in Russia without President Putin's approval. President Obama also criticized the media for its coverage of the hacks throughout the election and for focusing so much on the leaked emails, which he described as an obsession.
I'm finding it a little curious that everybody's suddenly acting surprised that this looked like it was disadvantaging Hillary Clinton, because you guys wrote about it every day. Every single leak. About every little juicy tidbit of political gossip. This was an obsession that dominated the news coverage.
And the debate over Russia's interference in our election has also very publicly played out between the White House and the Trump transition team this week. But yesterday, the president rejected the notion that that controversy has somehow disrupted the transition process. Back to y'all.
All right,
Tough words. Tough words. Cut it out. It's like that 80s meme, right? Like,
that's all you have to do.
That's cut it out. Don't do it, or we're going to do it back to you.
We figured out that's from Full House.
Was it from that, or was it Double Dare?
Cut it out.
Cut it out. I don't know, but
when if I'm Vladimir Putin and he's like,
whoa,
you cut it out.
You cut it out now. It's like something during recess in school. But also, you know, it's interesting to hear.
So revealing.
I mean, him talk about the election, talk about Hillary Clinton, and he seemed to point the finger a little bit. I mean, he went pretty far, actually, in saying, look, the liberal elites living on the West Coast, East Coast need to come down off of their chariots and sort of come into those towns of West Virginia, those areas where we've really lost this election.
I thought he was actually spot on when he was talking about liberals and not speaking directly to the American people and sipping on their lattes, as we've been talking about this morning.
Out of touch.
Just basically, to your point, out of touch with how the American people were feeling. He's spot on about that.
You can't just get in touch, though, without misrepresenting yourself. They've gone so far left. You can't just say, well, now we're going to be politically incorrect, or now we're... No, that's who they are.
So then don't try to get in touch.
They're not having introspection right now.
So then don't try to get in touch. Try to point the finger, point the blame, right? And so that's what Hillary Clinton was doing last night. She was at a party thanking her donors for this election, and she had this to say about James Comey. That's where she's putting the blame. Listen.
Swing state voters made their decisions in the final days, breaking against me because of the FBI letter from Director Comey. And Nate Silver believes, I happen to believe this, that that letter most likely made the difference in the outcome. Vladimir Putin himself directed the covert cyber attacks against our electoral system, against our democracy, apparently because he has a personal beef against me. This is not just an attack against me and my campaign, although that may have added fuel to it. This is an attack against our country.
So we had Governor Mike Huckabee on just 30 minutes ago, and he was saying, you know, when you're in her position, you've got to go buy yourself a mirror and look at it and realize what actually happened.
Good.
And he also made the point of the importance of connecting with voters and actually hearing from them. And that was the big problem for Democrats this time. They didn't understand how people were feeling, what they wanted for the next 4 years. Here's what he said.
If Hillary would like to spend about $4, she can go down to Walgreens and buy a mirror. Look in at Hillary. That's why you lost. But let me be very clear. When you win an election, you go out and you thank the people because it's their shoulders on whom you rode to victory. But if you lose, you don't go out and blame everybody in sight. You go out and suck it up and you accept it. Can you imagine an NFL quarterback after the game that the team lost saying, gee, I'm the greatest quarterback in the league and I would have won this game single-handedly had it not been for those lousy linemen in front of me? What kind of play will you expect from them the next time? I'm just stunned by this.
Yep. First it was the deplorables, then now it's the Russians and the hackers and everybody else.
Right.
Maybe someday.
I do think, though, that when it comes to Russia, I mean, it is a huge challenge for the United States and for the world. And President-elect Trump, and if Rex Tillerson is his Secretary of State, they've got a real opportunity to press that reset button and figure out how to deal with them. Because saying cut it out is not the answer.
They can't do worse than in red lines that you don't enforce and a reset button that's misspelled and an open gate to Putin to do whatever he wants in Eastern Europe. That's what the policy of this administration has been. Turning that page, they've got a lot of advantages because there's a lot of upside to be had in that relationship.
They got to know they can't get away with that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we do have some other headlines to get to this morning. Starting with this, it was breaking overnight in some sad news. An officer is shot after a traffic stop turns deadly. The scene unfolding in a Walmart parking lot in Dallas, Oregon. Officials are saying 3 officers pulled over the suspect on suspicion of a DUI. The suspect then turned his gun on an officer, shooting him in the leg. He was rushed to the hospital where he's now recovering this morning. State police say the suspect was shot and did die on the scene. And the son of terrorist Osama bin Laden is denied entry to Egypt. Omar bin Laden and his wife arriving in Cairo International Airport this morning from Qatar. But after checking his Saudi passport, security officials found his name on a list of those banned from entering the country. Both were deported to Turkey. The couple was also denied entry back in 2008. And the Obamas landing in Hawaii just a short time ago for their last vacation as the first family. President Obama holding Malia's hand as they walk down the steps of Air Force One with Sasha and Mrs. Obama close behind them. The first family visits Hawaii for Christmas vacation every year, vacationing on the island where President Obama grew up. And they will be there for a full 17 days. And President-elect Donald Trump is at it again, using a nickname for one of his defeated political opponents.
In Utah, I had this character that nobody ever saw before. Nobody ever heard of him before. I said to my wife, that's correct, that's his name. He said, Evan McMuffin. Do you believe this?
All right, so it's not McMuffin. He's talking about Evan McMullen. He's a third-party candidate, once thought to be a threat to Mr. Trump in states like my home state of Utah. McMullen embracing that nickname, though, posting this photo from a local McDonald's before the election.
Wow. Wow, I'm hungry for a McMuffin
that might
right now.
stick.
I think it's already stuck. Yeah.
Muffin.
Wow.
All right.
All right. Well, Michelle Obama has an announcement to make. Just give up, America.
See, now we're feeling what not having hope feels like, you know.
I'm feeling it. But is all hope really lost? David Webb and Richard Fowler, they're here to debate it next.
Oh, he's got hope with his poinsettias. Plus, remember how Facebook said they will crack down on... Welcome back. Her husband ran on the slogan Hope and Change. So does Michelle Obama think his administration achieved that? Well, she told Oprah in a new CBS special set to air on Monday this. Watch.
Yes, I do, because we feel the difference now. Yeah. See, now we're feeling what not having hope feels like, you know. Hope is necessary. It's a necessary concept. Yeah. What do we do if we don't have hope, Oprah?
Ask Oprah. But is it really fair for the First Lady to say that the Trump presidency has America feeling no hope? Here to debate that question, Fox News contributor, radio talk show host David Webb, and Fox News contributor and Democratic strategist Richard Fowler. Richard, first to you. Do you agree with the First Lady?
Well, I think you have the wrong frame of what she's trying to say here. I think what she's trying to say is that for the past 8 years, this president has pushed this ideal of hope, and he has done so. We had 72 consecutive months of job growth. This is the longest period where corporations have actually created jobs for the American people. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think everybody's feeling that, but I think what this election shows us, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, both candidates didn't do enough to come from a place of hope or change. I'm not saying either candidate did that. So I think what the First Lady is saying is her husband and the current president sort of built this ideal of hope, and he tried to make it happen, and neither of the two candidates, or now the president-elect and Hillary Clinton, they didn't do that.
So, David, this feeling of hope has been pervasive then, I guess, and that's why Hillary Clinton won this election then, right?
Yeah, I missed the point where neither candidate. I love Richard's talking points. Richard, you're great at that. You brought the 72 months in there. You got everything covered. The fact is that Americans needed real change. They needed a change from the failed policies of Barack Obama. They needed real change from the failures. But this is Michelle Obama, who once said for the first time in her adult life she was proud of her country because her husband was elected president. In that frame, it's offensive to me. It's offensive to Americans. She doesn't determine the hope of the nation, but the voters who went out there and said we need a change from these policies. Look at the Trump bump. Look at the feeling. Look at the animal spirit in America. Look at the return of a feeling that we can achieve or we have a shot at starting a business. Those are the things. And you want to talk about job growth? How about job loss by small businesses? More failing, less started. Now with Trump, we'll see what happens.
What about that side of it, Richard? This idea that we're seeing a rally, the Dow hitting 20,000, small businesses getting excited about what a Trump presidency might mean for their bottom lines. Isn't that a form of hope?
I think, listen, don't get me wrong. Like I said at the beginning, and I said in my talking points that I sent over to the producers, here's the thing. There's 50% of America who likes Donald Trump. There's 50% of America who doesn't like Donald Trump. What this election shows us is that our country is divided. You don't need talking points to see that. You could look at talk to the American people and figure that out. Now, what Donald Trump has got to do over the next 4 years in his first 100 days is find a way to bring Americans together. And bashing the First Lady, which Donald Trump didn't do, which is a good ideal, is not the answer. How you do it is work with President Obama, who President Obama said yesterday in his press conference he's willing to work with any president. He's willing to work with Donald Trump and figure out how we come to the center on this.
I love the fact that you want to prattle on about who's bashing who, but President-elect Trump has actually gone out and said he's enjoyed his talks with President Obama. He's been very gracious.
I just said that.
And then Michelle Obama turns around and says this about his presidency. Come on, you can't have it both ways.
She did not. First of all, David, if you listen carefully to what Michelle Obama said, there was no noun there.
I actually read the transcript, Richard.
There was no noun. She didn't mention the word. She didn't mention the word Donald Trump whatsoever. So I don't know what you're talking about.
The context of the conversation was about the president-elect.
Richard, you're assuming the context.
That's exactly what it is.
You're assuming the context. It's not exactly what it is. You're assuming it, David. And
no, I read it. That's the difference.
She didn't say Donald Trump.
By this debate, America is united. Thanks, Richard, David. Great to see both of you this morning.
Love the Trump
We're out of time. Coming up here on the show, 6 months after Russia allegedly hacked the DNC, President Obama now says he's ready to retaliate. So why the sudden action? Author Ed Klein has a theory. He's next. And welcome back. It's time for your news by the numbers. First up, $10 billion. That's how much more taxpayers will have to fork over in 2017 to fund subsidized Obamacare plans.
Excellent.
Next up, 333,000. That's how many illegal immigrants President Obama deported in 2015. That's the lowest number for any year of his presidency. And finally, 28. That's how many Americans applied for Canadian citizenship to avoid a Trump presidency. Canada's Immigration Services Department says none appear, though, to have come from Hollywood. Interesting.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I'm just shocked about that.
At least 28 people put their money where their mouth was.
That's right.
Hey, that's true. Yeah. All right. Well, President Obama vowing retaliation for Russian hacking of the election with a message for Vladimir Putin.
What I can tell you is that the intelligence that I've seen gives me great confidence in their assessment that the Russians carried out this hack. So in early September, when I saw President Putin in China, I felt that the most effective way to ensure that that didn't happen was to talk to him directly and tell him to cut it out, and there were going to be some serious consequences if he didn't.
You cut it out. This comes after a new report that says the FBI and FBI Director James Comey now agrees with the CIA that Russia and Vladimir Putin were behind the hacking.
Well, here to react is author of Guilty as Sin, Ed Klein, who's got some great sources on this. Ed, do we know definitively that Russia was behind this?
No, we don't. What we do know is that the intelligence community is talking about the scope, nature, and intent. What does that mean? We don't know what that means because David Nunes, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, has asked the intelligence agencies to appear and tell the intelligence committee what they know. But they have refused because there is a fierce battle going on behind the scenes among the 17 agencies about actually what happened. You know, this is all kind of smoke and mirrors. When you stop to think about it, the CIA didn't know that India and Pakistan got nuclear weapons. They didn't know about the fall of the Soviet Union. They didn't know, they missed everything, including the weapons of mass destruction. Now they're saying they know for sure. They don't know for sure.
And the FBI disagrees. Yeah.
That's right.
And so there is disagreement internally, as you said. They also don't know whether or not the intent, as you mentioned, was to throw the election for Donald Trump or to discredit our system, if indeed that they did hack it, what they were trying to do.
Well, I've been told that, you know, on the one hand, these are my sources, that President Obama is putting kind of a calm, no drama Obama face in front of the American public, but that behind the scenes, what we're really seeing is what we saw with Michelle when she was interviewed by Oprah Winfrey saying, hope is all lost. There is a lot of sense of anger inside the White House, and I think they put the pressure on Comey, at the director of the FBI, to get on the team. And I think, knowing how Comey behaves, because he's a very political guy, he said, okay, I'll get on the team, but let's actually find out whether Putin really had intent to just create chaos, which he certainly did, or whether he was in favor of Donald Trump. I'm not so sure that he wants Donald Trump to be president of the United States.
Someone who seems to be sure about that and who's also pretty angry about the results is Hillary Clinton. And she had what she calls a holiday party 2 nights ago with some of her donors, talking about putting the blame on Vladimir Putin, even James Comey, for the results of this election. What is your take on that? We have that, Sot. Let's play it.
Swing state voters made their decisions in the final days, breaking against me because of the FBI letter from Director Comey. And Nate Silver believes, I happen to believe this, that that letter most likely made the difference in the outcome. Vladimir Putin himself directed the covert cyber attacks against our electoral system, against our democracy, apparently because he has a personal beef against me. This is not just an attack against me and my campaign, although that may have added fuel to it. This is an attack against our country. We are well beyond normal political concerns here. This is about the integrity of our democracy and the security of our nation.
So she didn't lose because it's her fault. It was somebody else.
It was James Comey.
And if Nate Silver said it, it's got to be true.
I've written 4 books about Hillary Clinton, and there's one common denominator that goes through all the books. She's never wrong. Jennifer Flowers, it's a right-wing conspiracy. Monica Lewinsky, she's a Looney Tunes stalker.
Is this the bubble that they live in, though, Ed? They really will pin this election loss on James Comey. And maybe there were a few people that were swayed by that at the last minute. But more often than not, according to President Obama, he was talking about the West Coast, the East Coast liberals last year. I think that was actually more insightful, his commentary about liberals need to stop drinking their lattes and get out there into these communities.
You couldn't be more right about that. He was saying we Democrats, he was speaking for his own party, have got to look into our soul and see what we did wrong. And that was really a kind of a slice at Hillary Clinton, saying she did not run a good campaign. We all know that.
Why is she still out there campaigning, though, it sounds like, and angry about this, blaming it on the Russians and Vladimir Putin? Why not just walk away with some grace and say, you know what, the American people spoke, these are the results. Maybe say what President Obama's been saying is we need to take a look at ourselves as a party and figure out how we send a message out there that wins a campaign.
She's the Arnold Schwarzenegger of politics. I will be back. I'm going to be back. You know, she's going to, I wouldn't be surprised if she's thinking already of running in 2020.
Really?
No.
On what grounds?
On what grounds? Because that's all that she has in life is to run for president. She's been thinking about that since she was in Wellesley back in the 1960s.
She can say, hey, I won the popular vote by 3 million.
Right, exactly.
So, well, they don't have anybody else at the moment. So, Ed Klein, great to see you this morning.
Good to be here.
Currently be the front runner.
That's right.
Thank you, Ed.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
All right, well, he's back. Liberal filmmaker Michael Moore has a new vow against President-elect Trump. His new rallying cry, well, you can't wait to hear it just ahead.
I did not much like I'd be emotional. This is, but they're tears of joy because there's no greater. No greater thing in life than finding a passion and something that you feel like you can make a difference. And for him, he's doing just that. And I couldn't be more proud of him.
Well,
so,
John, congratulations. You're the man. Well done.
All right, I got to get through these headlines now.
Good luck
How
with
am I going to do
help.
that? Okay.
We're here to
We do have some other headlines to get to, starting with this. The U.S. demanding that China return an underwater drone that the country stole last week. Chinese warship taking the drone in the South Sea as U.S. crews were trying to retrieve it just miles off the Philippine coast. The drone doesn't hold any classified data, but is used to map the floor of the ocean. And moments ago, President-elect Donald Trump tweeting this: China steals United States Navy research drone in international waters, rips it out of water, and takes it to China in unprecedented act. China has not yet responded to that tweet. And there's this: a Muslim woman is charged with lying to police about a hate crime, but her sister is blaming the NYPD. That is Sarah Saweed, coming to the defense of her younger sister Yasmin. She says the NYPD shouldn't have questioned claims Yasmin made about being harassed by Trump supporters on the subway. The police investigation revealing that crime never actually happened. Yasmin says she made up the whole story to avoid getting in trouble with her parents for staying out late with friends.
Wow.
All right. Well, inciting violence on Inauguration Day, liberal filmmaker Michael Moore says Democrats need to keep fighting and protesting until January 20th because President-elect Donald Trump has no right to lead this country.
This needs protest. This needs people's voices. We have to keep fighting. We have to fight all the way to Inauguration Day, obstructing, disrupting, civil disobedience. I mean, the man has no right to enter that house.
Moore says he doesn't think it degrades democracy, and he's, quote, fighting fire with fire. And Facebook's new fact-checking initiative is getting a thumbs down from conservative pundits and publications. The social media site under fire for picking sites that have a track record for liberal bias to filter the so-called fake news. They include is it Snopes, ABC News, and PolitiFact. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg insists they will be fighting spam, not flagging opinions.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's
fact checks the fact checkers. Right.
Right.
You don't. They still think they should control the outlets of media. It's unbelievable. All right, you know who can't control the weather, but I wish he could, is Rick Reichmuth. To some extreme weather, a deadly Arctic blast gripping dozens of states this weekend, with up to a foot of snow hitting parts of the Midwest. Hundreds of flights are now grounded nationwide.
Yeah, one woman blinded by whiteout conditions driving into a frozen creek in New York.
Wow.
Sadly, she did not survive.
Rick Reichmuth is tracking the storms and joins us now. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning. We've had a lot of cold across the U.S. Really for about the last 10 days, and we still have some more. You guys think it's cold? Are you cold?
Yes.
Yes, you're cold. That's a consensus out here. The snow is here. It's going to warm up, though. We're going to be pushing 60 degrees tomorrow. Take a look at the maps. Let me show what I'm talking about here. This is the storm. Snow back across parts of Arizona through the Four Corners, and that is the real cold air coming in behind that line you see that's about to cut in towards Chicago area. We have mixing, like kind of freezing rain across areas around the D.C. area, and that is going to be some really problematic, bring for a lot of problems. Anytime you get that freezing rain, even if four-wheel drive can't do anything for that. So we have the snow falling across parts of New England. We're going to watch the temperatures really warming up today. A warm front moves through, and we're going to be seeing all of this snow melt very quickly because of the warm air that's coming in. And then cool air comes back in tomorrow behind the front, or I should say on Monday. All right, guys, we'll send it back to you in the nice, dry studio.
That's right.
It's so
really
pretty
cozy
out there,
where we
though.
stay.
It's so cozy in
It's so
here,
nice
nice and warm. Thank you, Rick.
You bet.
Well, President Obama promising to retaliate against Russia for those election hacks, but he told Vladimir Putin to cut it out 3 months ago. If that's true, why did the president wait so long?
Plus, celebrities joining forces to tell electors don't vote for President-elect Trump. First to switch their pick to Hillary. Here to discuss is former Saturday Night Live cast member and radio talk show host, the great Joe Piscopo. Joe, great to see you.
Good morning.
It's wild out there, man.
It is wild. In New Jersey, where you just came in from.
Yeah.
You look at what, and President Obama the other night.
Look at this best looking morning crew ever. Look how handsome and beautiful they are.
Abby.
I come in from Jersey. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Mr. Piscopo, makeup? No, you got surgery? That's what I need at this point. Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, so you're in New Jersey out there. that's a liberal hotbed, of course, is New Jersey. And when you see these Hollywood liberals talking about having these electors switching their vote ahead of the Electoral College vote, what do you think of that?
You know, no one cares what entertainers think. No one cares. The people know. This is the time of the people. They know, and they've been, I think, taking advantage and disenfranchised for so long. Just the everyday, all American, paying taxes, getting up in the morning, God-fearing, a church-going, always respecting the laws of the United States of America. These are the people that have come out and voted, and you got to deal with that. And when a celebrity, whether it's on the A list or B list, or myself, I'm not even on the wait list, for crying out loud. No, it's true. But they don't care. The people don't care, man.
But Joe, why do the entertainers think that the people care?
That's the question. I have no idea.
All right, so how come nobody?
I don't even.
We heard Mark Wahlberg during the election say, or just after the election, you know what, celebrities, you just need to shut up.
Yeah.
No one cares.
But that's a very good point. That's exactly right. And I didn't think about it, but this cracks me up, is when Hillary wants to win. It's the night before the election. It's Philadelphia. Every big major star, some of whom I am such big fans of, they come out, and it's at Independence Mall, and they go, and it's going to be the coronation of Hillary. Who shows up for Donald Trump? Me and Scott Baio. And we kick butt. Sorry. Maybe because we were Italian. I'm just saying.
All right, so Joe, how come zero at this point? Zero celebrities have moved out of this country when so many said if Trump were to win, they are hightailing it out of here.
Let's just stop the hate. I had no animus, no hate toward Mrs. Clinton at all. And in many ways admire, what she has accomplished. I know I just alienated half your audience, but there's no hate. Put the hate aside. Well, it's okay. I've known Donald Trump for 25 years. It's all going to be good. This is a great manager. He's a great business mind, and we're lucky to have him at this time there. But you can't suppress the will of the people, and I think that a lot of these celebrities are starting to realize
speaking of the will of the people, I have to ask a question for Clayton of you, as a resident of New Jersey. There's rumors about you maybe looking at something, maybe governor of New Jersey.
But people are so upset, and I didn't realize till I went out, and I actually went out and campaigned late in the game for Mr. Trump down in Florida with Mayor Giuliani, and I saw in the face of folks a need, a want. They really did feel disenfranchised, and people come to me. I'm way out of the box, man. I'm not affiliated with any political party. I'm an independent, lifelong Democrat, now an independent. They want me to run on the Republican ticket. We're very, very seriously considering it. Then we're driving in. You guys kind enough to send a car, and my driver, Zahir, great. We spun out. We're going all around. Wow. In New Jersey, they just raised the gas tax 23 cents a gallon. Why? To pay for the roads. There's no salt on the roads this morning. I'm sliding.
And they've got potholes in New Jersey. Come on. I'm driving. There's tires are rolling off. So
can't keep.
If you run for God, fix those roads.
You know what? And stop with the taxes. We get taxed for everything.
It's out of control.
Well, Joe, good luck to you. That could be a very interesting fun ride ahead.
You know what?
Big news.
We're thinking about it seriously. And I have a love of the state enough. It's the greatest place on planet Earth.
Well, you're loved by many too.
And Utah, that ain't Jersey. But
Utah's far from Jersey, but good luck to you, sir.
Beautiful.
Joe, great to see you this morning.
Thanks, guys.
And thanks for braving the weather to come.
Yes, we're here.
All right, you heard that here first. And a shocking opinion, even by the New York Times standards. One writer suggests President-elect Trump would let another 9/11 attack happen in order to improve his approval ratings.
And Abby is revealing her biggest fear this morning. She's afraid of heights.
Good morning. It is Saturday, December 17th. I'm Abby Huntsman. Well, first, he brought back Merry Christmas, and this morning, the president-elect wants to bring back another phrase.
Remember that beautiful? Made in the USA. What do you like better? Made in the USA or made in America?
We are going to take you to Florida, where the latest stop was on his thank you tour in Orlando. It just wrapped up.
That's right. Plus, bet you didn't see this one coming. While Democrats across America blame Russia for losing the election, President Obama says, well, it's actually kind of Hillary's fault.
And what happens when you ask bickering Democrats to make a life or death decision? This morning, the deer named Lefty, who captured our hearts.
Did he capture our hearts?
He captured my heart.
Did he? Wow, your heart is very open.
That's right, for a one-horned deer. Well, that deer is dead, killed by political battle to save his life. We'll tell you why. Fox and Friends Hour 3 starts now. I've got a big heart.
You do.
Rocking around
The Christmas tree.
Down. That's awesome. They all came out here this morning.
Hardy Americans out here to watch, be on the plaza. And who better than Bass Pro Shop? Outdoor gear. They can handle it out there.
Look how beautiful it is out there. Even that like plastic bag stuck in that tree up there. Fluttering in the wind up there, isn't it?
I love it.
Can you see it? You find beauty in the most surprising places, Clayton.
In little places like that. Hey, we got a jam-packed show.
All right, so we're also celebrating, of course, ugly Christmas sweaters today. We're going to be wearing some later on in the show. We've asked you to send us photos of your ugly sweater, so keep them coming in. This one is Sean from Virginia sending us this picture.
Look at that hat.
Of his son's ugly Christmas sweater equipped with hanging ornaments, candy canes, garland, bells, and wireless lights. You were mentioning, Clayton, edible sweaters. That's a thing.
If you
Almost
can combine
food, yeah, you can eat the sweater.
Pretty awesome. And Melanie sends us this picture of her and her co-workers at an ugly Christmas sweater party in Brooklyn.
Those.
Wow.
Look at that.
I love the one on the far right. That's great. Here's another one. Brenda sent us this picture of her sweater that won an ugly Christmas sweater contest in Canton, Georgia. Look at that.
What is that? What's the head atop the snowman?
I think there's a what do you call it? A snow globe?
No, that's Donald Trump's head atop the snowman.
That's hysterical.
Really? He is bringing Merry Christmas back. So, and then look, is that a basket of deplorables next to him?
Either that or it's a snow globe.
No, I think it's a basket.
That is.
We're going to do further research on this photo and come back with the truth.
But please send them to us. Friends at FoxNews.com. We'll post your ugly Christmas sweaters on the show this weekend.
I was not expecting a basket of deplorables on.
No, but
an ugly Christmas sweater this morning.
But the American people always come through.
All right, we do have to turn here to some headlines that are coming in overnight. This one's a sad one. It's an officer that was shot after a traffic stop. It turned deadly. The scene unfolding in a Walmart parking lot in Dallas, Georgia. Officials say 3 officers pulled over the suspect on suspicion of a DUI. The suspect then turned his gun on an officer, shooting him in the leg. Officers then returning, firing, killing that suspect. The injured officer, luckily, is expected to be okay. And the son of terrorist Osama bin Laden is denied entry to Egypt. Omar bin Laden and his wife arriving in Cairo International Airport this morning from Qatar. But after checking his Saudi passport, security officials found his name on a list of those banned from entering the country. Both were deported to Turkey. The couple was denied also entry back in 2008. And the Obamas landing in Hawaii just a short time ago for their last vacation as the first family. President Obama holding Malia's hand as they walk down the steps of Air Force One with Sasha and Mrs. Obama close behind. The first family visits Hawaii for Christmas vacation every year, vacationing on the island where the president grew up. They will be there for a full 17 days. And it is the greatest secret Santa ever. A Virginia Marine just back from deployment dressing up as the jolly old elf to surprise his son at school. This is the cutest thing. Watch.
I want an Xbox One for Christmas. Did you want anything else for Christmas? I also want my dad. You want your dad? Yeah. Why would you want your dad? Where's your dad then? In Kuwait. Why is he in Kuwait? Because the army told him to.
Magic for you.
Okay.
Hi, Jackson.
Hi, Dad.
This is the best video of the morning. It is a Christmas miracle. And the look on his face just says it all. How cute is that?
He's processing a lot of things.
Right. It's like, wait a second. Am I still going to get that Xbox One? That's what you think. It's like, okay.
It's probably true.
All right. Well, we got a jam-packed show, including this morning, because if you listen to the President Obama, before he heads on vacation, which he does every year to go to Hawaii, he usually sort of does a wrap-up of the year, sort of a look back, post-mortem, if you will, in this year in politics. And he had some interesting takes on Russia, Hillary Clinton, but he was pointing his fingers at Russia, saying, we've got to take this seriously. And, oh, by the way, 3 months ago, when I met with Vladimir Putin, I told him to cut it out. Listen.
Based on uniform intelligence assessments, the Russians were responsible for hacking the DNC. I can assure the public that there was not the kind of tampering with the voting process that was a concern. The votes that were cast were counted. They were counted appropriately. Our goal continues to be to send a clear message to Russia or others not to do this to us. because we can do stuff to you. The thing we have to spend the most time on, because it's the thing we have the most control over, is how do we make sure that we are showing up in places where I think democratic policies are needed, where people feel as if they're not being heard, and where Democrats are characterized as coastal, liberal, latte-sipping, politically correct, out-of-touch folks. We have to be in those communities.
He was spot on in the last part of that, talking about this election and how the Democrats missed it this time around. And instead of visiting, the diners around the country and talking, face to face with many people that are not happy with the way things are going.
Of course.
That's where they missed it, where they're sitting, as he said, sipping their lattes, reading the New York Times, who thought they were right on about this election. They were clearly wrong.
And he's basically pointing the finger at Hillary Clinton. I mean, she was the candidate. She was the one out there trying to make the case. But also now suddenly he's getting tough on Russia. Suddenly he's going to cut it out and he's going to stop them and we're going to investigate the hacking. Where was he on the red line? Where was he on all these other deals and the reset button that was a failure?
Wait a minute, did you think that was tough?
On Crimea. Cut it out?
Now, Vladimir, cut it out. Slap on your wrist.
I guess my standards for toughness for Obama are so low. That's now him.
We've been talking about, it reminds me of Uncle Joey from Full House back in the 90s. Cut it out.
I might have that clip later.
So then he does it. What do we do? What's our response? Like, you better not do this, or we're going to step in. We're going to do something about it. And what do we do?
And this is the same Obama who shot down Romney in 2012 and told them, the 80s called and they want their foreign policy back. You want the Cold War back because he was dismissive of Russia. Yeah. You can't have it both ways. It's all over the map.
Well, we're going to have former CIA agent Michael Baker on to talk about Russia and what his thoughts are and what President Obama has been saying about it later on in the show. But as we know, the thank you tour has been going on.
The Merry Christmas thank you.
The Merry Christmas thank you tour. And Mr. Trump was in Orlando last night. And he was talking about the Time Person of the Year. And I think you said it well, Clayton, saying, even Time Magazine is not safe from Donald Trump. Here's why.
Watch.
We are not going to be taken advantage of by other countries anymore. Right? Our goal is to bring back that wonderful phrase. Remember, some of you that are a little bit older, made in the USA. Remember that beautiful? Made in the USA. What do you like better? Made in the USA or made in America? Hold it. Hold it. Yeah. Ready? Who likes Made in America? Who likes Made in the USA? No. I think so. Okay, wait. So I have one more because, this is like doing a free poll. Here's another one. So Time Magazine and the Financial Times, big deal, just gave me Person of the Year. Person. Okay. They should give it to you because this is a movement, folks. This isn't me. Are you ready? So in the past, it was called Man of the Year. Now it's called Person of the Year. So here's the question. What do you like better? Ready? Do you like Person of the Year? Do you like Man of the Year? Well, they want to be politically correct.
That's exactly. I love the contrast of those two men at podiums that day. One saying, well, we can't be the coastal, liberal, latte-sipping, politically correct folks. We've got to get out in the communities. And one's like, let's call it Man of the Year. Because people are sick of political correctness, and he struck a chord, and he's sticking to it, and I think people love it.
And I like that he brought all the Christmas trees there, too, down there in Orlando. So he's got the festive, and I think he turned it into the Merry Christmas tour. So he's in Mobile, Alabama today as the final stop.
End of his tour. Do you think Time Magazine's going to listen, though? You think they're going to change it?
I don't think so. No. But if people woke up at some moment and realized political correctness has led us to all these crazy places where we can't even just state the obvious, like I'm a man or a woman or a Man of the Year or a Woman of the Year, it's actually not hard. They just obsess over who might offend that one person one time.
But something tells me that he will also still have a copy of that magazine framed in Trump Tower.
Of course.
Blown up.
Of course. If you were Man of the Year, wouldn't you do that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Maybe he'll
Be right
cross
above
it
my
out.
desk.
Maybe he'll cross it
You know
out and
what?
put Man of the Year.
It would be right above my desk when my wife comes in to tell me to pick up something on the floor. I say, by the way, you see this? Yep. Man of the Year, right here. Done. I'll clean up my laundry.
That is a
later.
Trump card, as you would say.
That's right. I'm going to pull the Trump card. All right, coming up on the show, President Obama says America is stronger and more respected today than we were 8 years ago. Really? We're going to talk to former CIA officer Mike Baker about that next.
Interesting. And remember when President-elect Trump said this about the New York Times?
I put down failing at New York Times. The newspaper's going to hell.
Well, it turns out